You're saying that the president needs to have a clean sweep of all the states in the Sun Belt that he won back in 2016.
I said I believe that we're going to win all of them. There are multiple pathways. You look at Arizona, where I'm very confident, very safe that we're going to win Arizona. But even if for some reason we didn't have Arizona, we could pick off Nevada, a place where our modeling shows that we're going to win on Tuesday, as well as Michigan, and that would put President Trump over the top.
Senior Trump campaign advisor Jason Miller there making a lot of headlines, and a bold prediction on the chances of the president sweeping the Sun Belt tomorrow night on his way to an electoral college victory. Let's bring in our panel. Kevin Walling is the vice president of HG Creative and a Democratic digital campaign advisor. And Matt Gorman, former NRCC communications director, also joining us as well. Matt, what about that? How key is the Sun Belt and securing victory in those states that he won back in 2016 this time around?
Yeah, look, Trump can lose through the Sun Belt, but to win the presidency, he needs to hold all of the Sun Belt as well as pick off Pennsylvania or a Michigan up north. Look, Texas and Florida are absolute must-wins for the president. I'm also watching Georgia. Republicans have been very pessimistic about Georgia over the last week. Polls closed there at 7, so we'll know fairly early on if this will be a good night for Trump or a bad night for Trump.
If Biden is able, Kevin, to flip Georgia, what does it mean for pathway to victory for Donald Trump?
Yes, Sandra, it's a good point. I mean, Georgia, if Georgia goes blue, I think that's the final nail in the coffin for the president's campaign. And I think, you know, Democrats I talked to on the campaign are pretty bullish about Georgia. Of course, you saw top surrogates. You have former President Obama going to Georgia today. They like what they're seeing in terms of the early vote. And of course, as we know, it's not just the presidential election that's on the ballot. There's 2 key Senate races in Georgia that could decide who controls the Senate come January. The vice president, of course, spent 40 years in the United States Senate. He knows just how important the Senate is, not just in terms of taking the White House for the Biden campaign, but also being able to govern with the Democratic Senate. So that's why Georgia's so much in play, Sandra. All
right, so let's run through some of the Real Clear Politics numbers in some of these key states, looking at Arizona, where Biden is up 1 just hours from Election Day. In Florida, Biden is still leading by a point there as well. Georgia, Biden still leading by a very, very narrow margin, 0.4%. And North Carolina, where we should hear from the president moments from now, talking to supporters there, he is leading by 0.6 percentage points. And on to Texas, which is in play. Trump is leading by just 1.2%. Here's Anita Dunn, Biden campaign advisor, on this election and comparing this moment to 2016. Listen.
They're 2 very different elections. In 2016, Donald Trump wasn't an incumbent who had failed miserably. He was an outsider. He had no record. He was a much easier vote for people to cast than he is this time. So I'm not going to go back and second guess the Clinton campaign. What I can say is that this is a totally different situation.
Matt, does she have a point? Matt? All right, Kevin. Perhaps I've lost Matt for now. Kevin, respond.
Yeah, I do think Anita Dunn has a point. Of course, as a senior advisor to the Biden campaign, all incumbents running for re-election, it is a referendum on the incumbent. That's what the Biden campaign is hoping this case, especially with regards to COVID-19 and the coronavirus. You know, they want to make sure, as Bill Clinton said in his address during the convention, that it's a job interview that the president is embarking on in terms of his re-election. It is a referendum on the president. We're hopeful that more Americans will view it through that lens come tomorrow.
Matt, in that case, you have to ask, is that enough? Or should Joe Biden have hit the campaign trail more, been more concise and detailed on laying out his policies and talking about the issues rather than just being the anti-Trump vote?
Well, we'll see. You know, Democrats have finally started going door to door, the traditional sort of thing every campaign does. They were just that for a very, very long time. I think the way Biden certainly thinks of it, to Kevin's point, he's almost playing prevent defense like he would in football, right? Allowed no touchdowns and, you know, kind of protect his lead right now. So we'll see if that works out for him. He certainly has a wider path to 270 electoral votes than Trump does at this moment. But who knows? We saw in 2016 that can collapse pretty quickly.
All right, Kevin, Matt, thank you very much. Hours from Election Day, good conversation. Thank you so much. Trace?
Thanks, Sandra. Good to be with you.